From the Hampton Coliseum in Hampton, Virginia, WHCS Channel 5 presents Virginia High School Coaches Association All-Star Game, the East-West Girls Match. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to the Hampton Coliseum, where we are just about set for the introduction of the parents and the players from each of the two squads. And at this time, we're going to pick up the announcements from Wayne Nast.
And there's a good shot of Wayne there at the scorers table as we see some of the parents start filing in. And there's some of the crowd here, Tim. We'll have the crowd will start filling in and get bigger as the day goes on. It's not, but shortly after 6, about 6:20.
Well, the players and their parents are making their way on the court, and we will have an introduction of each player and their parents. And of course, we're going to have that for you here as we are covering for the first time the All-Star match for basketball. Previously, for over the last number of years, this contest has been held in Lynchburg, and we've been privileged to cover the football.
At this time, we will introduce first the players from the West squad. Number 11, Wendy Goods from George Washington High School in Danville. With her is her mother, Mrs. Gloria Goods, and her coach, Chris Carter. Number 15, Christy Gray from Coburn High School. With her, Ricky and Joyce Gray, and her coach, Jeff Adkins. Number 23, Leslie Roberts, J.J. Kelly High School. With her parents, Gary and Debbie Roberts, and her coach, Robin Dodson. Number 25, Katie Olendick, Blacksburg High School. Her parents, Tom and Mary Olendick. Her coach, Mickey McGeegan. Number 33, Kim Stewart, Cave Springs High School, with Betty Stewart and Joseph Stewart, and her coach, Linda Long. Number 35, Sherry Banks, William Byrd High School. With her, Twyman and Charlotte Banks, and coach Richard Thrasher. Number 41, Marquita Randolph, William Fleming High School. Her mother, Mrs. Gay Randolph, and her coach, Roland Lovelace. Number 43, Ty Hall, Centerville High School. Number 45, Kendra Wallace, Fauquier High School. Her parents, Donald and Beverly Wallace, and her coach, Margaret Lowry.
That's 45.
Number 51, Eve Kendall, George Wythe High School in Wytheville. Her coach, Mary Copenhaver. Number 53, Windsor Coggeshall, James Madison High School. Her parents, Porter and Mary Coggeshall, and her coach, Danny Jonas. And number 55, Michelle Wims, Radford High School, with her coach, Brenda King. The All-Star squad from the West. Let's give them all a big hand. And tonight's home team, the players from the East. Number 10, Laura Jacobson, Buffalo Gap High School. Her parents, Fran and Ken Jacobson. Her coach, Dennis Dull. Number 12, Brandy Lemons, New Kent High School. Her mother, Mrs. Gail Lemons. Her coach, Tom Dolan. Number 14, Mandy Saunders, Meadowbrook High School. Her mother, Sheila Saunders, and her father, Ray Saunders. Number 30, from Menchville High School, Lisa Kali'i Pa'akaua, with her parents, Mr. and Mrs. William Kali'i Pa'akaua, and her coach, Phil Forbes. Number 32, from Robert E. Lee High School, Erin Wall. Robert E. Lee High School, Stanton, Virginia. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Wall, and her coach, Steve Walk. Number 34, Ann Blose, Spotswood High School. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. William Blose, her coach, Jim West. Number 40, Hillary Heiser, Midlothian High School. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. James Heiser, her coach, Doug Garrett. Number 42, Chauncey Calhoun, Warren County High School, with her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bill Calhoun, her coach, Sonny Dyke. Number 44, Claudia Blovet from Prince Edward High School. Her parents, Joseph and Claudia Blovet, and her coach this evening, Tim Myers. Number 50, Tajama Abraham from Kickitan High School. Her parents, Ralph and Harriet Abraham, and Tim Myers as her coach this evening. Number 52, Kim Coleman, Osborne Senior High School. Her parents, Satrell and Pat Coleman. Her coach, Ann Yates. Number 54, Angela Garcica, Wilson Memorial High School. Her father, John J. Gorsica, and her coach, Kirk Johnson. The coaches have each presented the players with a commemorative all-star plaque, and the players have presented their parents with a rose. At this time, the girls' basketball all-star game director, Kate Carter, will present plaques to the all-star coaches. The coaches from the West, Mary Copenhaver, Mickey McGeegan from Blacksburg, Linda Long from Cave Spring, and Danny Jonas, Fort Chiswell. And the East coaches, Kirk Johnson, Wilson Memorial. Ann Yates, Osborne Senior High School. From Menchville High School, Phil Forbes. And from Harrisonburg High School, Tim Myers. Let's have a big hand for all the players, their coaches and parents. We welcome you all. We look forward to the game. Thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Okay, so we've had the introduction of the players, their parents, and their coaches, and we're very happy, as you and I were talking before we came on the air, Bob, to see this whole All-Star Week come to the city of Hampton and the peninsula in general. It certainly is a great event. For the last several years it's been held in Lynchburg. It will include the basketball game for the girls, which you're seeing on Tuesday night. On Wednesday evening, there will be a baseball game at War Memorial Stadium, the All-Star Boys game. And Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m., there will be a girls softball game. Right now, we invite you to join us for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, Tim, we have a couple of officials here. One of them, of course, from the Peninsula, Tim Whitlock. The one who's got goes to your barber. I'm picking on him a little bit.
Let's hear it.
He's the referee tonight, and Warren Patrick is the other official. And Tim said, now he told me this for your benefit. He said, we're going to let him play, so if there's no call, don't get on me. No, he did. He said that they're going to let him play tonight, which is great. We're glad to see that.
All right, the starting lineup, Wendy Good, number 11 from the West, number 23, Leslie Roberts.
We had some number changes, Tim, too, so that's might confuse the when they put it up on the screen.
Well, I think we lost that, if you recall. So Kendra Wallace, number 45, number 51 is Eve Kendall, and the remaining starter, number 53, Windsor Coggleshall, someone who we are very familiar with, having seen her for a number of years. For the East, number 14, Mandy Saunders. Erin Wall, number 32. Number 30, Hillary Heiser. Excuse me, rather, that's 40. And Angela Corsica. I don't even have a 40. Well, Hillary Heiser is the one I've got for 40 here. So
yeah, here she is. Tim, while we got a chance before we get started here, they'll play a little different rules than normal. Since this is an all-star game, they're going to have a starting 5 and then one substitute for the first quarter. And those 6 will play the first quarter. The second 6 will play the second quarter.
Without any, no one from the first quarter can play.
Right, nobody from the first quarter will play the second quarter. The third quarter, everybody will play. The fourth quarter, the coaches can play anybody, because then you're getting down to the finals of the game. You can only press if you're in the last 2 minutes of a quarter or if you're down by 10 points or more.
And it would seem, Bob, that they're also going to have longer quarters than we're used to in high school basketball.
10.
We will have 10-minute quarters versus the normal 8-minute quarters that those of you who follow high school basketball would be familiar with.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the coaches. We have from the Peninsula, Phil Forbes from Menchville High School is one of the coaches on the East team. Kurt Johnson from Memorial High School is also one of the coaches. Ann Yates from Osborne High School and Tim Myers from Harrisonburg High School. On the West, the coaches are Mary Copenhagen from George Wythe, Danny Jonas from Fort Chiswell, Linda Long from Cave Springs, and Mickey McGoulin from Blacksburg, and we're underway.
The East squad in the white uniforms controls the opening tap, and the ball is lost out of bounds on the turnover. The official with the ball is Warren Patrick. And the West will have the ball brought up by Wendy Good.
Well, they're playing man-to-man, but they're not picking them up until they come across half court. Oh, nice shot by the young lady from the West.
That's Windsor Coggleshaw.
She had a hand right in her face, Tim. Great concentration.
Outside jumper is no good. Rebounded by the big girl, Gorsica.
6'6".
And she is a highly recruited young lady. And we've got a whistle and a traveling call against the West squad.
And as we go along, I'll try to mention the colleges these young ladies are going to attend to, those that have already made the decisions. And we have the cream of the seniors in the state of Virginia in this contest.
Outside jumper is good by number 14, Mandy Saunders. And I do want to add the cream of the crop -1. And that one minus player is the creme de la creme of the crop. And that, of course, would be Lakeisha Frett, who, because of prior commitments to attend orientation at the University of Georgia, she is unable to attend the event, and regretfully so, I'm sure. But Lakeisha Frett, who was the Virginia High School Player of the Year, the National Parade Magazine High School Player of the Year.
The Gatorade Player of the Year, whatever. I mean, all kinds of allocates for her. Tim, this young lady, Wendy Goods, number 11, is so quick after the East scored that last point. She was half court with the ball while the East was still coming out. We see the replay of that last foul.
4 all. Nice penetration.
Oh, nice.
Left-handed layoff by Mandy Saunders. Baseline penetration, kick it outside. The shot is up and in by number 23, Leslie Roberts. So she has 4 points and a stoppage of play.
One young lady lost a hair ribbon or something out of her hair, and they stopped that so nobody would slip on and hurt themselves.
8:34 remaining in the first quarter. "16-footer, an air ball, saved nicely on the baseline, but into the hands of the West squad. Back come the blue-clad West, and they lose it on the baseline.
And Tim, these young ladies have only practiced together, less than a week, and so you're going to see some passes that are not made. You got to get used to playing with other ball players.
Ball knocked out of bounds by the West. Tough traffic in there for Mandy Saunders. She not particularly a big girl, but
she got knocked out.
Doesn't hesitate to get inside. Inbounds pass stolen by the West. This is Wendy Good, and she is blocked on the play. So the foul will be charged to Mandy Saunders. That'll be her first.
I'm impressed with the speed of this West team. Now, Tim, we got to see some of these young ladies play in the state tournament, but unfortunately for Group A and AA, the girls' state tournament is played in the fall. And we are, as you remember, tied up quite a bit with football at that time, and AAA is played in the spring. So some of these young ladies we've never seen before.
Kendra Wallace, number 45, gets in the scorebook, giving the West a 2-point lead. Blocked inside nicely, and back come the West squad. Pushing the ball up quickly is Coggleshaw. Good defense applied, and she dishes off for Wendy Good. Pick set. Baseline, Coggleshaw is surrounded by Gorsica, and she gets it back outside. There's no shot clock in girls basketball, so they can take as much time as they want as far as that is concerned. Running jumper, no good by Roberts, and Gorsica with the height advantage and the rebound. 1-on-2, Saunders, and no foul call. She is just going to lose it out of bounds. Last touch by the West.
One thing you can say that the action is up and down and nonstop. This is a tremendously talented group of young ladies out there as we have our first substitutes, Tim.
get a chance to watch this again, you'll see Saunders driving the lane 1-on-2. And she did a good job of splitting the defense, and a good no call by the official as far as a foul was concerned. This is Saunders looking inside. And we got a jump ball.
And
as
it'll be
Aaron
alternate
Wall was
possession.
tied up. Arrow of possession will give the ball to the West squad. So we'll be using the alternating arrow of possession, which is not functioning, by the way. Eight to 6, the West with the ball and a 2-point lead. 6:40 remaining in the first quarter. Spinning one-hander, Wendy Good, no good. And the rebound taken down. Aaron Wall got it. Baseline, cornered shot, no good. Kicked it out for Coggleshaw. Shot is partially blocked, and back comes the East. Saunders has it stripped by that good hands, Wendy Good. Nice dish underneath, shot too strong.
Oh,
And
nice
blocked.
block.
Gorsica with the block, but again sticking to it. And another block by Gorsica.
Whoa. Well, that was two, and there was no doubt about that one either.
Marquita Randolph, not to be denied, just wouldn't give up the effort. Had it blocked twice by Gorsica. Wendy Good will come out of the ball game. And in her place for the West will come 51, Eve Kendall. Knocked away, last touched by the East. That was Hillary Heiser who knocked it out of bounds. And entering the ball game is Claudie Lovey, number 44. We, in advance, apologize to the girls and their parents if we mispronounce last names. We're not particularly familiar with a lot of these players, but we'll do our best, we promise. Rebound for Saunders. She has been all over the court. She throws it up, no go. And the rebound, Eve Kendall. And the East steals it right back. Lovey, 4-on-1, left side. Saunders.
Oh, nice
right
give and
side.
go, Tim.
Lovey, who just entered the ball game, gets the bucket.
That's a classic fast break passing at that time. Excellent.
We're tied at 8 with 5:07 to go in the first. Baseline jumper is too strong. Call it a pass, if you will. As the West squad puts it back up, that was Marquita Randolph with the bucket. And the West regains a 2-point lead. Lovey, lucky not to be called for the double dribble. The ball was apparently knocked away. Gorsica, triple teamed, turns around, puts up kind of an off-balance shot. And then the follow-up is good. I believe we're going to see an opportunity of three-point play.
Tim, there were all 5 of the defenders were around that young lady when she shot the ball.
Heiser gets the basket. The foul is charged to Eve Kendall. And an opportunity for the East to take the lead here with the three-point play. We're tied at 10. It's been rough inside for under any circumstance. The traffic inside has been pretty tough. So Heiser completes the three-point play and gives the East a 1-point lead. This is Tim Cole with Bob Hintz bringing you this all-star action from the Hampton Coliseum on the 12th of July, 1993. Saunders' shot is a little short, and the ball is finally controlled by Coggleshaw. Right side, lead pass, Wendy Good can't hold it. Back comes the East. Lovey will pump it up and hits.
She was looking to somebody to pass to, nobody there, so hey, I got a 15-footer, let's take it.
Coggleshaw will shoot a
oh,
three-pointer.
nice three-pointer.
the first 3 of the ball game and 5 points for Coggleshall. She did that a lot in her high school playing days. She was a thorn in the Peninsula District team's side every time they either was Phoebus or Menchville or somebody they had to play Coggleshall. She always rose to the occasion. (13-all). The ball will be inbounded by the East. Saunders loops it inside. And good defense on.
I tell you, it really is. They've got a player in front and behind and to the side. Another three-pointer.
Coggleshall again. So she is one of those pure shooters that she gets warmed up, she'll hurt you. And a 3-point lead for the West. Just inside the 3-point line, shot no good. Corsica follows with the bucket. Angela Gorsica.
Well, Cogsall, Tim, is, of course, played at James Madison, is going to Duke University in the fall.
Eve Kendall with a bucket.
Their friends call her Wins for Windsor, I guess. National Honor Society, Latin Club.
Oh, nice dish for Heiser.
Whoa! Excellent.
Great passing by Mandy Saunders. And Coggleshall returns the favor. No good. Shot no good. And finally regained by the West. And Marquita Randolph is not bashful. She'll pump it up and hits. She's had a half a dozen attempts and has 2 baskets. And the West again with a 3-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go. Gorsica kicks it out just on the 3-point line. It's a 2.
She just
good call.
touched it.
Good call by the official to not allow a 3 as she just touched it. 1-point lead for the West. Coggleshall kicks it out, and a travel call will be forthcoming on the West. Randolph took a step. Coggleshall will come out. Placed by Wendy Good. East down by 3. Partially blocked. Wendy Good gets the ball for the West. Back they come. Both teams like to run with the ball. And a good anticipation.
Great hustle by number 32 on
Aaron Wall.
Aaron Wall, yes.
Anticipating the play.
That's what your good players do, Tim. They can anticipate where the pass is going, who's going to be open, because that's what they would be looking for. And that's what makes these players even more exceptional is that's the 3rd block for her.
At least the 3rd. A little too strong. Heiser had it and lost it off her foot. So the West will keep it with a 1-point lead. Leslie Roberts comes back in for the West.
We got about a minute to go on the first quarter play.
Randolph will pump and hit. Marquita Randolph with 6 points. (22-19). And Randolph knocks it out of bounds. It'll still belong to the East with 42 seconds remaining.
I tell you, the West is really a scrappy team, Tim. They're not giving the East any chance to set up in any of their offense. They're reaching for the ball, trying for the steals.
Saunders has it knocked out of bounds.
That's the kind of player you like to see. That young lady is just, her whole body is into the game.
She is very aggressive, and you need that type of play. She penetrates and dishes off and shoots, and she's everywhere on the court. Blocked by Coggleshall. She'll bring it back with a 1-on-3. She slows it down, waits for her teammates. Randolph from the top of the key, off the glass and good. So 8 points for Randolph, and she is now tied with Coggleshaw for the team lead in scoring here in the first. Baseline jumper, no good by Heiser, and a push off underneath. I believe it'll go against Randolph. Just 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
And then you're going to have to learn a whole new bunch of names.
Yeah, I was just getting used to these. A new set coming in. I like the idea of everybody getting to play.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Heiser has it taken away. And I almost got the pass on the sideline.
Well, you did a good job tapping that ball back in, Tim. We'll give you an assist.
So the West leading after one, 24-19. Leading the scoring, as I mentioned, 8 points each unofficially for Coggleshaw and Randolph. 4 points for Leslie Roberts. 2 points each for Eve Kendall and Kendra Wallace for the West. For the East squad, they were paced by Claudia Blovet with 6 points. 4 points each for Mandy Saunders and Angela Gorsica, and 5 points for Hillary Heiser. 2 threes shot in the first, those by Coggleshaw. And after one, it's a 5-point lead for the West All-Stars. Here's a little action from the first. There you see the block by Coggleshaw. In the waning moments of the first quarter, she brought it down, realized she didn't have the numbers, so you can see her slow it down a little bit here. Waits for someone from her team to fill the lane, and then kicks it outside. This is Randolph's shot. We'll get back to the live action, however, and work on a new set of names and numbers. You're right. An announcer's nightmare. East squad. Shot put up, the rebound taken by the West, Christy Gray, number 15. And then we've got a double dribble call.
Lisa Kay, and I'm calling her Lisa Kay from Menchville, is the one that caused that turnover just with her hustle on defense.
Why are you calling her Lisa Kay?
Because I'm going to let you pronounce her last name.
Turnaround jumper, no good.
And that was TJ Abraham from Kecoughtan that missed that number 50 out there for the East squad.
Tie up underneath will result in a jump ball. Need to check something with you. Okay. We had a number of number changes, and I didn't pick up that one. So, program put together several weeks ago, and I guess these young ladies decided they were going to change the numbers.
Well, the numbers, if I'm not mistaken, these uniforms are donated to the teams by one of the vendors, and those are the numbers that you end up with. So, and some of them may have been different sizes.
Sure. Obviously. Penetration, a foul that could have been called, but as you said, the officials said they're going to let him play it short of someone getting really hurt.
Nice pass by number 42 from the East, Tim. That's Calhoun. Hit to Abraham underneath for a nice, easy basket.
And we've got a reach-in foul called. .8:27 left in the first. A 3-point lead for the West squad. They will have the inbounds pass forthcoming. And the shot put up, a foul will be called. The shot taken by Ty Hall, number 43.
That was the second foul on TJ.
So 2 on TJ, and at the free throw line with 2 shots is Ty Hall. Let's see if we can find out a little something about this young lady. Get a chance to watch the replay as Ty connects.
There's that instant replay of the basket that TJ made underneath on a nice pass.
And Hall from Centerville High School connects on both free throws. A 5-point lead, the biggest lead held by the West. Shot is short and finally controlled by the West, Christy Gray. And she took
a little
steps.
out of control.
So the turnover will give the ball back to the East. A little less than 8 minutes to go in the first half. This is Abraham. Hook shot is no good. Partial hook, I guess.
Oh,
Up and in
tough shot.
by 42. That's Sensi Calhoun. And Abraham with the board. This is Calhoun getting the handle on it finally.
East wants to set up and run their offense.
And as you mentioned, Bob, the West, and again, a good example of that, it just won't allow them. Their tenacious defense has caused the East problems. And the follow-up is good by Ty Hall. Abraham from way outside, just really not her shot. And this is Lisa Kay. Her shot won't go. Nice pass to Hall from Gray.
Oh. And Wee says, let's take a timeout. Coaches want to talk. You're down by 7. You don't want to let this thing get out of hand, and you're turning the ball over and allowing too many easy shots for the West. But I've got to be impressed with the West because of their tenaciousness on defense. They're just hawking the ball and not letting the East set up their offense, and especially the half-court offense. And I think they just have more team speed overall than what the East has right now.
Get a chance to watch some of the action from the previous trip down. This is the nice pass to Hall from Gray. Look at this running pass. Hall with good height and good control caught the ball and put it up off the glass for the basket. And that precipitated the timeout by the East squad with 6:41 left as you look into the East huddle. Certainly has been an interesting ball game. Both squads have impressed me with their quickness. They move the ball very quickly. And as you said, it's tough to do that with just a short period of time practicing together.
It is, Tim, because you learn little idiosyncrasies of the other player that they do that you know if he does a certain thing, that precipitates another move that he's going to make, and you sort of get in tune to that, and it's hard to do that in an all-star contest, but so far the play has not been that ragged.
The East will inbound, trailing by 7. This is Brandy Lemons, and her pass off the mark. Thought her teammate was breaking in the other direction.
And that's kind of mental mistakes. Give a coach either gray hair or less hair.
This is Kim Stewart, number 33. Turnaround jumper, good. So her first points of the ball game. The lead, the largest of the game, 9 for the West.
Young lady from Cave Springs, we saw her in the tournament, AAA tournament this year.
Checking in for the East squad, Ann Blos, number 34. She'll replace Kimberly Coleman, number 52, for the East. TJ Abraham, guarded by Hall. TJ's shot, little off the mark, and a foul on the rebound. This will go against Brandy Lemons, her first. It'll be player control. 5:40 left in the first half, 32-23. The West with a 9-point lead and the ball. And the East is able to steal the ball. Lemons a little too strong.
She may have been bumped a little.
Might have been. And good defense by the East to get the ball back. So Brandy Lemons will bring it a little more deliberately across the timeline. 5 minutes left in the first half. East trying to cut into a 9-point lead. Lemons with a three, no good. And the rebound taken by Michelle Wimes. Quickly down the court, West squad can't get the one to drop. Lemons gets the rebound.
And these girls probably are not in real good shape, Tim, because since basketball season's been over, it's been 2 or 3 months, and you have a tendency not to run and have your basketball legs in you. And this is probably a bigger floor than some of them play on all the time here at the Coliseum. So we see some tired young ladies at halftime, I'm sure.
Calhoun committed the foul for the East squad. That's her first personal foul. Christy Gray comes back in for the West. And for the East squad, Kimberly Coleman returns. Hall shot a little too strong. Gray with the rebound and the stick back. Christy Gray with 2 points. Lemons, and she is fouled.
But this kind of foul, as a coach, you don't mind, because that's hustle foul. That's defensive pressure foul. That's not silly. That's good, hard-nosed defense.
Brandy Lemons at the free throw line for her first trip, and a good look at the young lady. All these young ladies, I should hasten to add, are seniors.
Seniors, they have already graduated.
New Kent High School is, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't say they're seniors. They're graduated seniors. Brandy Lemons from New Kent. She's undecided about her college choices, at least at the time this program was printed, which those things could have changed. So Brandy Lemons hits both free throws. And it makes a 9-point lead for the West. Kim Stewart. Ty Hall, no good. And batted around, finally controlled by the East. That is Ann Blows, who just gives it to Brandy Lemons. East down by 9. Jumper is short. And last touched by, I believe, the East squad. Christy Gray partially blocked.
And then Comos came up with a steal. That's what makes these young ladies on the All-Star team, Tim. They don't stop playing just because something didn't go the way they wanted to. They missed a shot and they said, well, I hang my head a little. No, they just went after and tried to steal. It's a positive attitude.
Rebound to the West. Ty Hall kicks it out for Kim Stewart. To Gray, back to Stewart. Fake. Attempt to get it to Ty Hall inside, but it's stolen by the East. Back come Randy Lemons, and is it going to be a shot that counts? I don't know. Let's see what Mr.
I don't
Whitlock
think he's
says.
calling the shot. No basket.
So the continuation disallowed. Here we get a chance to watch the replay. You'll see Brandy Lemons. She'll go in there. The West player did not establish her position, and for that reason was called for the blocking foul.
Well, and not only that, it was a foul well before the shot, so that's why the basket did not count.
A timeout has been called with 2:19 remaining. And if I can interrupt you for just a second, Bob, I'm going to want to mention to the viewers that if you're watching this game on Tuesday night, the 13th of July, we want you to be aware of the fact that there are a lot more events going on. Wednesday evening, there will be a boys baseball game at War Memorial Stadium starting at 7. We'll be there for that game.
Well, at
Wednesday
2 o'clock that afternoon, yeah.
Wednesday afternoon will be the girls softball. It'll be over at the Briarfield Field. The girls softball Wednesday at 2. And then the events will be culminated with the All-Star football game from Darling Stadium, 7:30 Thursday night. And admission to all of the events is just $5. And it's fun. It's great to have this whole week here in the Hampton Coliseum
I tell
and
you,
on the peninsula in general.
We're talking about a tremendous boost to the economy of any city that hosts this, but this is something that I know Mike Smith has been wanting to get down here, but they've had such a good deal with Liberty University up in Lynchburg for the last 8 years, but it's nice to get it down here, and hopefully this will be our first of many years to come.
And I'm sure that these parents of all the different players involved and the coaches and the athletes themselves will thoroughly enjoy the offerings that the peninsula and the Hampton Roads area have for them, including all the beaches and all the water sports and just tremendous Busch Gardens up in Williamsburg.
Take away from the historical Jamestown and Williamsburg and those places. So you've got a lot of things for families.
The East having a tough time finding the basket. Scramble for the ball and finally controlled by the West. Here comes Kim Stewart. Got a teammate left side. Put it up. It's short. And Lisa Kay with the rebound from Menchville High School.
You can see that the East is much more deliberate in their bringing the ball up the court. They're not going all out.
Coleman's shot, no good. Getting one chance is all the East is doing. Nice feed underneath. The shot doesn't go, but a foul is called. Shot was attempted by Kathleen Olendick.
The East is just, again, Tim, I don't want to belabor the point, but the East seems to have a lot more team speed. That's because they're running with the ball, and the East is coming down slower. Doesn't mean that they don't have the speed, but if you're walking the ball up on offense, it's hard to, as we watch the replay and a nice pass here, it's hard to gear yourself up to sprint on defense. So you get in one kind of a flow, and it's hard to switch it. So right now the West is definitely not only dominating the game up by 9, make that 10 points, but are right now just out hustling and out quicking the East squad.
Kathleen Olendick with the first of 2 free throws. And misses the second, but her teammate got it. That's
Number
Ty Hall.
43.
Ty Hall has 8 points. And that was the first missed free throw by either team here in the first half. Shot still, that's the same shot she's taken it about 4 different times. Sauncey Calhoun just can't find the range. That's her spot, obviously, but she hasn't been able to can it yet. A minute to go in the first half. West up by 12, their biggest lead, and they've got the ball. the steps were taken as Ty Hall was indecisive about her pass, and in doing so, moved her pivot foot. And you know what that means. So the East with 44 seconds remaining in the half, trying to slice into that 12-point deficit. Hope you're enjoying our all-star basketball game from the Hampton Coliseum. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz from Channel 5 here in the city of Hampton. Shot a little too strong. Brandy Lemons follows, no good. And back come the West with 20 seconds to go. Just 6 points here in the second quarter, I should say, by the East. Turnaround jumper is good for the West squad, Michelle Wimes. Randy Lemons, no good, and the rebound off to the West as the buzzer sounds, ending the first half. And the West with a 15-point second quarter and just 6 points for the East squad. So a 5-point deficit at the first quarter break is expanded to a 14-point lead at halftime for the West. We'll return to the Hampton Coliseum for the third quarter of action after a brief timeout. Pretzel or something. I can't hold it. Man. Hey! There you see the halftime score. The West squad up by 14, 39-25 here at halftime. The individual scoring finds Ty Hall along with Marquita Randolph and Windsor Coggleshaw, all with 8 points to lead the West. 4 points, these by the way are unofficial scores. Leslie Roberts with 4. And then 2 each for Kendra Wallace, Eve Kendall, Michelle Wimes, Christy Gray, and Kim Stewart. And 1 point for Kathleen Olendick. For the East squad, they were paced by Claudie Blove with 6 points. 5 points for Hillary Heiser. 4 points each for Mandy Saunders and Angela Gorsica. And 2 points for Brandy Lemons and Sauncey Calhoun, as well as TJ Abraham. And the score at halftime, 39-25 in favor of the West. And of course that invokes that rule you talked about, Bob. If you trail by more than 10 or more points, then you can press on the ball coming up.
Right, Tim, you can press, but if you remember what happened in the first half, the West team much quicker, it seems like, than the East team, and if the East tries to press, they may be out quick then to give up some easy baskets. So we'll see what the coaching staff comes up with for the East team. Now, one thing that you will find out in this quarter is all 12 of the girls will play at some time during this quarter. The fourth quarter, you can pick a group and stick with it or whatever you want to. So it's very important for the East to get back in and cut this at least to a single-digit deficit by the end of the third quarter.
Looking around at the crowd in attendance, it's continuing to build as this game will be followed by the boys East-West All-Star game. And of course, a lot of local interest there with the players from the local teams as well as throughout the state. Maury has a All-American coming over here, Damon Baycoat from Hampton, and many others. As we'll get into that as we cover the boys game. We'll have that coverage for you here on Channel 5.
Well, Tim, I want to take my hat off to Mike Smith and his staff for getting this thing organized and everything. This just is going off without a hitch, and Mike and all his staff just do a tremendous job.
The West steals the ball quickly down the court, off the glass, too strong. And the East will rebound to bring it back. That is Erin Wall, number 32, who gave to Mandy Saunders, who starts the second half. Off the glass and good by Gorsica.
Well, that's the, obviously that's what the East wants to do, is get that ball inside, force the West to make some bad decisions, and that was a great entry pass that time.
Not a good pass on that fast
She
break.
wasn't quite ready for it.
On the west end of the court, they are ready for it. That is Kendra Wallace with 4 points now. And the West leads 41-27. A rather unusual shot.
I think the ball was hit, Tim. It was partially deflected, which made it go in the direction it did because it was really away from the basket.
Gorsica is fouled on the shot.
She is hollering for the ball. She throws her arm up. She gives them a good target, but she's been double and triple teamed all the time. We got to see that this year a lot when Lakeisha Fred played, of course, with Phoebus, and she was double and triple teamed all the time. So these young ladies are used to it, and I'm sure she is too. Of course, how do you pronounce her name? Gorsica?
Gorsica. Kendra Wallace called for the foul. Gorsica misses the first of two. Here's your replay. You'll see not much of a foul in contrast to what we saw during the first. And Gorsica misses both free throws, but her team is able to get the rebound. Gorsica will fire, no good. Heavy traffic. Rebound finally controlled by the West. This is Wendy Good, and she is no good with the shot. Back comes the East. 8:17 to go in the third. Could have called traveling on that one. Looked like she might have taken an extra step.
Might have taken a little extra step.
Gorsica has it blocked. Saunders tries to dish inside, but it's
That
stolen
was a
by
nice pass
Carbashaw.
and a nice breakup.
And the West beats the East down the court. That was Leslie Roberts. She has 6 unofficially. So exactly what you had mentioned, Bob, is on a little bit of a gamble, the West able to steal. Saunders' shot is a little short. And back comes the West. Windsor Coggleshaw from James Madison. Great career for the James Madison team. Coggleshaw with the ball had 2 threes in the first half. Only player to hit a three-pointer. Good move by Good, and then she is tripped up on her way into the lane. Unintentional, but it was a foul nonetheless. Saunders called for her second personal foul. It would be player control foul. 43-27, the West with a 16-point lead now. Jumper is short, blocked by Gorsica, and then we've got traveling. That big girl in there will intimidate you.
And Gorsica caused that travel just because she was there, and it was like, how do I get the ball over that statue to get it in the basket, and shuffled her feet. There's a long three.
And it is a three. Lovey with the first three-pointer by the East squad. Shot no good. Wendy Good with the rebound, and Gorsica with yet another block.
Tim, I haven't been counting. That's about 5 or 6 blocks that she's had so far. And she's doing it without making any contact with the body.
She is going to play at Vanderbilt.
That was number 53 for the West, Coggleshaw. Coggleshaw, I'm sorry.
Almost stolen by the West. Saunders, nice feed underneath. The shot goes.
Feed.
Basket by Erin Wall. That's her first. And the lead is 13. And Coggeshall loses it but gets it back. Coggeshall, three-pointer. That's her third.
What a nice eye that young lady has. A good touch on that ball.
Stoppage in play will bring on the court Brandy Lemons for the East. She'll replace Blovet. This is Saunders. Just inside the three-point line. Connects for two. 6 points now for Mandy Saunders. The lead is 14. And stolen by the East.
And then that was not a good pass.
Wendy Good with a nice feed. Baseline, easy shot.
That's a possible 4-point swing right there.
Marquetta Randolph with the easy basket. And instead of a 12-point lead, it is a 16-point lead. Wall's shot won't go. Wendy Good chases it down, gives to Coggeshall. A whole new squad getting set to come in for the West. Randolph misses this time. And Lemons will push it up the floor for the East. 3-on-2, left side for Mandy Saunders, just a little short. And last touch by the East. So just when I got used to the 7 names that are out there.
Wholesale substitution for the West.
Brand new team for the West. We'll give them to you as we can. TJ Abraham getting set to come in for the East squad. Ty Hall returns. Christy Gray returns. Let's see just how well I can do this. Sherry Banks, number 35, is in for the blue-clad West. Kim Stewart, number 33, and number 25, Kathleen Olendick for the West. So that rounds out your West squad. Nice feed on the left side for Gray. She can't hold on to it, though. For the East on the court, TJ Abraham is out there along with Brandy Lemons and Mandy Saunders. Number 40, Hillary Heiser. And the final player is Laura Jacobson, number 10 for the East. Stolen by the West. Kim Stewart, and her shot, no good. Christy Gray can't get the follow. Ty Hall follows and hits. So Ty Hall now with 10 points, and her team leads by 18. Three-pointer, no good. TJ had it, but lost it, and Christy Gray comes up with it. And an easy run, but the shot won't go. Follow shot, no good. And a foul underneath.
I'm sure the East are getting a little frustrated. Their outside shots are not falling, and they're letting the West get too many offensive rebounds.
Laura Jacobson called for the personal foul. At the free throw line will be Kathleen Olendick. Here's a replay of the action. This is Ty Hall's lead pass. Kim Stewart can't get it to drop.
But
Just
there's
hung
one
on the
rebound, and there's the second one and the made shot.
Ty Hall connecting for that. Back to the live action. Kathleen Olendick now has 2 points. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. She cannot connect on the second. Back comes the East. Saunders will fire for 3, short. And it goes over to the West. 53-34, a 19-point lead for the West and the ball. 3:25 left here in the third quarter. Hope you're enjoying the All-Star Clash. East and West All-Stars, Tim Cole and Bob Hintz bringing you the action. Videotaped on the 12th of July, 1993, from the Hampton Coliseum. Senior All-Stars, the Virginia High School Coaches Association. Kicked out of bounds, last touched by the East. Bob, I was checking with our good buddy Mike Keach over at Hampton at the Daily Press, and he was telling me that, of course, we've talked about this before, how these players are picked to be on these squads. They are nominated by their coaches and then voted upon by the Coaches Association in the event there are too many nominees. You will not see more than 2 players on any particular squad from the same school. TJ with consecutive blocks gives to Randy Lemons, and Lemons with the easy layup. So the defense by TJ Abraham of Kecoughtan High School.
And sometimes that's not you know, you want to represent as many schools as you can, but sometimes you'll end up with a team that has a tremendous amount of senior talent, and I'm talking football now, and only 2 players from that team can make it. And you know, I can understand the rule, but it's also not good for a team that is loaded with some really outstanding talent that some of them don't get a chance to play an all-star game. So, but they have to have some rules and regulations to follow. And another turnover by the East.
Stolen by Marquita Randolph, and she scores. She has been superb in this ball game and now has 12 points.
Back to it's 19-point lead now.
55-36. 2:03 left in the third. Jacobson has it knocked away. Back comes the West. They've got a young lady down the court that didn't see her. Randolph gets the pass, put it up, no good. And Lemons has it, and she is fouled from behind by Kathleen Olendick. Substitutions for the East squad coming in: Kimberly Coleman, Lisa Keliakapua, and I apologize, I cannot pronounce that young lady's name, but she's from Menchville High School. Those of you from the Hampton, Newport News area certainly know this young lady. She played a great career at Menchville. Talking about Menchville, boy, is that going to be a powerhouse in the next couple of years with some of the young ladies they've got coming back.
And that's the truth.
Phil Forbes has to be licking his chops with some of the talent he has returning to that squad. Lisa Kay scores underneath. 55-38, a minute and a half to go in the third. And the West loses it on the turnover. Rebound to the West. Got a 2-on-1, 3-on-1, off the glass and good for number 35, Sherry Banks, as she banks at home. The East trying to get the ball down low. And the ball last touched out of bounds by the West squad. So the substitution situation continues as both squads are required to play everyone in the third quarter. And I'm quite sure they have. Claudia Blove guarded closely. And the ball stolen by Christy Gray.
The defense of the West is just not giving any passing lanes at all to this East squad.
And return to favor, Blove blocks the ball and gets it back for the East with less than a half a minute to go in the third. Kimberly Coleman tied up on the baseline by Ty Hall. And the possession arrow will give the ball to the West. Three-point attempt is good. Kim
Oh.
Stewart. Kim Stewart, who had a great career in high school, and a whistle and a traveling violation as the buzzer sounds to end the third quarter. Kim Stewart from, where did we say? Cave Springs, right?
I think she's from Cave Springs, yes. You're right.
So
Cave Spring High School.
So the third quarter has come to an end.
In fact, the little thing about Kim Stewart,
Well, let's talk about her. Go ahead and talk about her while I do some score tabulating.
she's undecided where she's going to go to college. Of course, played at Cave Springs High School. She does plan to go to college, become a physical therapist.
This is, if I can interrupt you, Bob, this to make the fans aware of, this is that series of blocks by TJ, which resulted in her stealing the ball after the second block and then giving to Brandy Lemons.
Let me go through these young ladies real quick, Tim. On the West team, Sherry Banks plans to go to Virginia Tech. She's from William Byrd High School. Wins Coggles Hall. Of course, James Madison going to Duke. I talked about her. Lindsay Goods from George Washington High School. She's going to Temple University. Christy Gray enjoys playing basketball, tennis, volleyball, running track, gymnastics, swimming. Wow, she is in a lot of things. She's planning to become a pediatrician. Has not decided where she's going to go. Trish Hall is going to go to Duke. Eve Kendall is going to go to Radford. And that's just an idea of some of these colleges these young ladies are going to go to.
TJ Abraham scores for the East. Just her second basket. Stolen by Lemons. Lemons pumps it up, no good. Saunders in there, puts it in. So the East squad gets two quickly. And now you see a full court pressure being applied by the East.
Well, that's the first time we've seen the full court press.
Well, of course, and without the substitution rules now, and I'm not casting any aspersions on anyone from either squad, but now the coaches might feel like they've got the right squad out there for this particular defense.
Well, that's the first time we've seen Abraham in there with
Gorsica.
Gorsica, yes.
So the Twin Towers in place for the East. And a two-pointer.
Well, that's 6 straight points.
That was Hillary Heiser who connected. And the East is definitely putting the pressure on the ball, and TJ got the ball for Saunders. A 3-on-2, Gorsica follows. The big girl is there, but the defense, or I should say the defensive rebound is there in place with good position for
And the
Eve
West
Kendall.
says, wait a minute, we want to call timeout. Let's talk about this a little bit.
So the lead has gone from 60 to 38 to 60 to 44. A 16-point lead very quickly, and you want to run down some
Well,
of
I
the
just
East
want
girls.
to talk a little bit about this East squad. Of course, TJ Abraham from Kickinton High School is going to go to George Washington. And how do you pronounce that young lady's name?
Blove.
Blove. She's going to go to, she's not sure where she's going to go, but she wants to take international relations. And Blosey is going to University of Virginia. Miss Calhoun, Longwood. Kimberly Coleman, she decided where she's going to go yet. Gorsica, of course, you talked about her going to Vanderbilt. What a program they've got down there.
Yeah, she's going to get a chance to play against Lakeisha
Yes,
in the Southeast Conference.
that's true. Hillary Heiser is going to go to VCU. Laura Jacobson, Roanoke College. Lisa Kay to Brigham Young. Brandley Lemons is undecided yet. Amanda Saunders is going to Providence. And Erin Wall is going to Liberty University. All these young ladies are planning on going to college and have very active in their schools and on National Honor Societies and all other kinds of things. And this is just a tribute to the school systems around the state.
So the West now feeling some definite pressure being applied by the East. They've got to get it across the timeline in 10 seconds, and they are able to do so. They break the press. Wendy Goods, they kick it out. Coggleshaw for 3. That's her 4th.
Boy, that's a heartbreaker there. That young lady stopped. She knew what she was going to do.
And the West squad anticipated it too. They knew she was the one to go to. She's the go-to shooter. Coggleshaw has done that for 4 years at Madison. And this is Coggeshall again with the ball. And she'll pull up from 15 and she'll kill you all night long.
You don't think Duke isn't licking their chops for that young lady?
18 points for Coggeshall, including 4 3-pointers. I don't think she's missed but one attempt from three-point range. And the block shot gets the ball in her hands once again. 65-41, just when the East was making a move. And a great feed. Oh,
nice
the layup won't go. West
What a pass.
that one before it went in, and it didn't go. But now we've got a whistle, and what do we got? Wendy Goods, I believe, is going to be called for the foul.
And I'm not too sure. That was a great steal.
Kim Stewart coming back in for the West, along with Michelle Wimes, number 55. This is Saunders. Brandy Lemons, no good with the shot. Gorsica, the big girl, throws up the hook shot.
Sweeping hook.
8 points for Gorsica. Stewart dishes. Nice shot by 45 Kendra Wallace.
This West team has a lot of scoring punch, Tim. All these young ladies can hit that outside jumper.
And really that's been the story. The East has not been able to hit from outside. Kim Saunders trying to change that trend. Can't get it to drop. Gorsica, no good. Saunders battles for the ball. And a lot of players, you would think this was for the state championship. Got a back court violation.
That's a tough call, but that was a good call.
Stepped right on the line. I said Kim Saunders, I meant Mandy Saunders. .6:29 left to go in the fourth. 67-46 in favor of the West. They led by 5 after 1, and then they led by 14 at halftime, and led by 22 at the third quarter break. A brief run by the East, and then the West responded with Coggeshall. This is Coggeshall with the ball. Dribbles equally well with either hand. Nice feed underneath. Well, I tell you, you're right. They're looking their chops down at Duke.
Well, I'm impressed with the young lady, Tim. She is aware of everybody on the floor. Makes great passes, can really shoot the basketball.
Shot no good, but a foul is called against Wimes. That's her first. Excuse me, Michelle Wims. And again, we apologize. We're not very familiar with a lot of the pronunciation of these young ladies' names, and certainly the parents and the students, we want them to know that we're trying as best we can, but if we mispronounce the names, we apologize for that.
Well,
here's some of that last action. Here's this nice feed by Coggeshall. She'll get the ball tied up and then spot.
you can see she almost lost the ball, Tim, but she still knew where everybody else was going to be.
At the free throw line, as we go back to the live action, TJ Abraham misses the first. Back comes the West. Kim Stewart, graduate of Cave Springs. Behind the back dribble. Right side feed for Ty Hall, and Hall has it rejected by Gorsica. Another block. TJ Abraham, and a great hustle by Ty Hall. She just
Really,
didn't give
Tim,
it up.
she was out of bounds, but she didn't stop hustling. You said it right. But I don't know how many blocks Gorsica had, but she's very close to having double digits in blocks tonight.
We want to take this opportunity, if not now, certainly by the conclusion of our coverage, to thank all the people here at the Hampton Coliseum for their usual cooperation and helping us set up for this coverage of the All-Star Week. We really appreciate their help. I know our crew, which Comes out here much earlier than you and I as a rule, and does all this hard work. Appreciates any and all help that they get from the Coliseum. East with the ball, trailing by 22, 5:05 left to go. Gorsica bumped after the shot, no call. TJ Abraham with the rebound and off the glass for 2.
Way to use the backboard, the violation.
I understand our help comes from Terry and Mark. Is that correct, Mr. Director, here at the Coliseum? Terry and Mark are the, we don't have some last names for those two individuals, but we do appreciate them nonetheless.
We certainly do. It makes it much easier for our crew to set up when you've got cooperation like they get from the people here at the Coliseum.
East will inbound. Just barely got it in. Gorsica. Layup good by Sherry Banks. Tough game for Calhoun. She has not been able to hit. Gorsica kicks it out. And no call. Pump it up, no good, and chased down by Randolph. Marquita Randolph.
Tim, one of the reasons that the East is probably not shooting as well is because of the constant defensive pressure that the West is putting on. They're not getting any good looks at the ball, at the basket.
And the East player went down hard. Let's hope she's not shaken up.
That's TJ Abraham.
She appears to be okay. Went down heavily.
And the coaches will have picked a player from each one of these teams as the player of the game.
The MVP award, they refer to it, and right now my vote would have to go for Coggeshall, although there's several players on the West squad that have played extremely well.
Well, I tell you that if you're going by the block shots, you have to go with the young lady just had that ball.
And the shot good, and a foul is called.
Used your body. Good example of using your body.
Seen some fine moves by these young ladies on both squads. You saw Sherry Banks that time in deep and up against a superior player in height from Gorsica, and used her body to shield. As you'll watch the steal here, you might have been able to hear Gorsica telling Calhoun to watch out for the steal because she saw it coming. And here you'll see the penetration. Gorsica got her with the body, and a good follow through to complete the basket. The free throw no good, and the lead pass Jacobson too long and stolen by the West. This is Banks. To Gray. Gray will shoot off the side, no good. Randolph follows for 2. "14 points unofficially for Marquita Randolph. This is Jacobson for 3, no good. Stolen by Coleman, and she is fouled in the act of shooting. Kimberly Coleman will get 2 shots. TJ Abraham checks back in for the East, as does Michelle Wims for the West. Two shots coming for Kim Coleman. One second less than 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. 75-50. The West has led from the beginning and now lead comfortably by 25. TJ Abraham from Kecoughtan High School with the rebound. Headed to George Washington, is that what you said, Bob?
Yeah, going to George Washington, that's correct, Tim.
And again, Banks with a good hustle. She spots Ty Hall down the court. Feed right side, easy layup for Kathleen Olendick.
Unselfishness.
Abraham's shot off to the side. Coleman follows off the glass, no good. Got her own rebound, and she is fouled. 1:53 to go. And now wholesale substitutions for the East squad. Both coaching staffs have substituted according to the rules, of course, and then have done liberally so here in the fourth as well. And here comes a big selection of new players for the West as well. There you saw the price paid by Olendick as she got hit pretty hard after she made that basket. Wims limps off the court. She has a brace that appears on her right leg, and she seems to be favoring that leg. So let's hope that nobody suffers any injuries here. Coleman rattles it halfway down and out. Good on the second, and now she will come out in favor of Brandy Lemons. Lemons steals the pass. Gorsica had it, and it was knocked away from her, last touched by the West. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage here on Channel 5 of the East-West Girls All-Star Game. And remind you that if you're watching this game on Tuesday the 13th, a lot of other events. Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock, Briarfield School will be the site for the girls softball match.
That's not Briarfield School, that's Briarfield Park.
Briarfield Park, excuse me. And then at 7 o'clock Wednesday at War Memorial Stadium, the boys all-star baseball game with several Peninsula standouts. And then Thursday night, at Darling Stadium, the football contest, 7:30 game time, East-West All-Star game to conclude the festivities here during the Virginia High School Coaches Association All-Star Week. Gorsica misses both free throws.
Well, Tim, I also like to take just an opportunity here to thank our crew, Don Bell and Jerome Young and Melvin Hooker on the cameras, Scotty and Dr. Sam in the truck along with Beverly Penn, and we just really appreciate all the work they do. They come in and get set up and make it easy for us.
And you don't have to mention Alan Parker, the instant replay guy, but I will. That's okay, Alan. We know who likes you. See?
Well, I just forgot, Alan. I apologize, Alan.
I think we got everybody, I hope. TJ for two. But yes, the crew, as always, does the hard work for you and I to come in and do the easy work. Coggeshall loses it. Mandy Saunders for two. 10 points for Saunders. 21-point lead for the West. 1:11 to go. Follow shot, no good. Gorsica had it, and finally controlled by the East.
Gorsica blocked that shot.
Saunders with a move to the basket. She would be my choice for the East, Mandy Saunders. She has been tenacious
Yes, she really has.
all night long on both offense and defense. TJ with the rebound. and a bunch of tired young ladies. As you mentioned, a good point, Bob, they haven't really got their basketball legs since basketball season concluded quite some time ago. In fact, some of these young ladies haven't played since last fall.
That's correct.
Of course, if they're headed to college, they've been working out and they're not in the worst of condition by any means.
But you have a different kind of basketball legs because you're playing full court all the time. And again, this court is bigger than most of the high school courts that these young ladies play on, I'm sure.
Coggleshaw will come out of the ball game. And she was my West pick for MVP. By the way, we weren't asked to vote.
No, we were not asked to vote.
We just volunteered. Much like our regular season, unofficial, no scientific method player of the game. Nice shot from outside. The net hangs up, so they'll stop play momentarily for that. But that shot was made by Sherry Banks with 8 points. 28 ticks of the clock remaining in the ball game. 88-58. The West with the blowout. Ty Hall with some good moves. She has impressed me a lot in this game. She's played extremely well. Randy Lemons, stolen by Hall. Lead pass, left side, put it up off the glass and good. That was Leslie Roberts as the buzzer sounds to end the ball game. And the West wins easily, 83-58. We'll kind of hang around for a second, see if we can pick up the MVP selections. Give you some unofficial scoring. Coggleshaw had 8 points in the first half. She added 8 more for a game total of 16.
83-58,
I hope so.
That should be 18. Eight for Randolph in the first half. She added 6 for a total of 14. All of these unofficial. 12 points for Ty Hall. 6 points for Kendra Wallace. Eve Kendall with 2 points. 4 points for Wims. 4 points for
At
Kathleen
this time, ladies and
Olenick.
gentlemen, we would like to have
Roberts
the
with 8
presentation
points.
of the most valuable player from each team.
5 points for Kim Stewart.
Presentation will be made
2 for Gray. Let's
by
listen
Kate
up.
Carter, the All-Star Girls Game Director. And the judges have determined that the most valuable player from the East squad, number 54, Angela Gorsica.
The one I picked.
Yep, all those block shots. You said it. So a nice award for this young lady going to Vanderbilt.
Angela from Wilson Memorial High School.
Andy Saunders outscored her. I'm a lousy loser. What can I tell you?
That's all right.
And I'll be somewhat surprised if Coggleshaw doesn't get the other award, but there are several other players who had outstanding ball games.
And the MVP from the West squad, also presented by Kate Carter. Number 53, Windsor Coggleshaw, James Madison High School.
4
She had a
three-pointers.
tremendous game, and Duke is looking forward to having her down there.
Windsor had 4 3-pointers, and a total of 18 points in tonight's game.
So there's your MVPs and the final score again. The West All-Stars win going away 83-58 over the East All-Stars in the annual Virginia High School Coaches Association All-Star Game. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole. Thank you for watching. Good evening, everybody.